What is psychic surgery and how can it help you heal? Psychic surgery is basically energy healing, and it can be done to help heal you emotionally and or physically. I had a really interesting higher self hypnosis session today where my client received both kinds of psychic surgery. The first one is emotional, and I want to read the notes from my screen so you can hear how it went. I asked her higher self when she was under hypnosis, is there any unforgiveness that she's holding on to anywhere in her body towards herself or anyone else? And if she is, where is she holding it and what does it look like? Her higher self said, yes, she's holding it in her neck. It's her father. He used to choke her. She's very mad at him, but she doesn't want to be. She wants to forgive him. I asked her higher self what was preventing her from forgiving him, and her higher self said she feels that because of what he did, she needs to be angry with him, but that's just making her tired. I asked her higher self what benefit is her ego receiving by holding on to this unforgiveness. Her higher self said she thinks it's protecting her from similar men like this. So I asked her higher self, is it protecting her from men like that? And her higher self said, no, it's not. She doesn't need to be tough. She can just be free. So I asked her higher self, what lessons is she learning by holding on to this unforgiveness? And her higher self said she's learning the lesson of the power of unconditional love. Now, keep in mind, unconditional love is love that someone didn't deserve based on their actions. It's just love that you give freely, the same love that we receive from the creator of all that is. So then I asked herself, are you able to gather up all of that unforgiveness that she's holding in her neck, pull and remove from her any energetic imprints of her father's energy around her throat and neck, pull all of that off of her, send it up to Creator's light and replace it with unconditional love and light, and tell us what that looks like as you do it? Her higher self said, yes. It's like I'm cutting into her throat with a scalpel and taking out this dark ball and then putting love and light in her throat. I'm closing it back up with a thread of light. There are a lot of light beings here that are helping, like hands. I can't really see their faces, just their arms. It feels really nice, and it's done. And keep in mind that I do these kinds of things with all kinds of emotions, not just unforgiveness. It could be if someone's holding feelings of betrayal or anger, resentment, guilt, shame, rejection, abandonment, any kind of emotion that's trapped in your body anywhere, because those are low frequency emotions. And when you're holding on to low frequency emotions, they're vibrating in your body at a low frequency. And there's something called the law of resonance. And the law of resonance says that all of the other organs around that low frequency vibrating emotion will start to match the frequency of that low vibration. And you can just imagine what could happen in your body when you have your organs vibrating also at a low frequency. In other words, you're playing with fire when you hold on to low frequency emotions trapped in your body, refusing to let go of them. Then my client expressed a number of physical issues that she wanted psychic surgery for. But it turns out in her case that all of these physical issues were actually being caused by the fact that she had a dark entity, a demonic entity in her aura. It was attached to her like it was attached to her mother and her grandmother. She inherited it, and it was causing all kinds of problems, including numbness on the left side of her body. Her higher self said, it's like this stubborn sadness that wants to be heard, but it kind of moves around really fast. It's playing a trick or a game. I've seen it before. It's like a demon. It's like a trickster spirit. And again, her higher self said she inherited it from her mother's lineage. So after I asked her higher self, are there any lessons she can learn from it and what can she do to keep these types of things from getting into her aura in the future? I then asked her higher self if it could just remove it and send it to Creator's light and replace it with the light energy. And her higher self did that and it was gone. And so was the accompanying left side numbness. These are just a couple of examples of how psychic surgery and working with your higher self, with teams of light, with psychic surgeons can help change and bring healing to your life.